What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video. And today, Todd McShay literally just dropped a 2-round mock draft. Finally, I am excited. I'm very excited to be able to see Todd go into the second round. And I know you guys are too. So if you guys love content like this, like, comment, and subscribe. We just boosted past 4,500, which my goal by draft day was 4K. And you guys have made that much more achievable than I ever expected. So thank you guys for making that possible, for believing in me and supporting the channel. If you guys want to support it in other ways, links are in the description, of course. Let's kick this off. Let's have a good time, because I also have a class. So got to be able to fit this in, right? Number one, Jacksonville Jaguars go Aiden Hutchinson. Seems pretty standard fare at this point. For time's sake, there's no real need to go deep into that one. You guys want my Aiden Hutchinson evaluations? I have plenty of mock drafts that are up. I already dropped one after that Saints-Eagles trade, so go check that out too. Number two, Detroit Lions, Travon Walker. I've been hearing insiders from the NFL telling me that Travon should not be the number 2 pick, but they're going to be re-asking the Detroit Lions themselves to see what's going on. And, you know, we'll have some more official information on that. I'm very excited to actually be probably one of the few people who actually 100% know what the Detroit Lions are looking for at number 2. Number 3, the Texans going KT. By the way, I still like the idea of Lions going edge, even if it is Travon Walker. You're still taking a shot on somebody. The floor isn't very high there in Detroit anyways. So even if he busts out, it's still worth taking a shot on someone who could be an absolute freak and absolute game changer. But KT is next. If we're talking about personality concerns, the last team who I would ever want him on is the Houston Texans. I mean, personally, I would have definitely gone one of the offensive tackles, which I do believe that the Texans should go. And I do know that Todd was able to mention that. But, you know, they do have a 13th overall pick. We're in a very deep edge class. We're in a very poor tackle class as well. I don't understand why people don't see what would be at their next pick. It's really weird. It is honestly really weird. But number 4, the Jets get Garrett Wilson here out of Ohio State. I could definitely see that happening. You know, this is probably the range where you could see him come off the board, especially if there's not a really high-end edge. I would be definitely looking at Evan Neal, though. You know, again, George Fant's on a 1-year deal, and even if Evan Neal needs a little bit more time to become acclimated to his 332-pound body, this is literally, you can't get much better than Evan Neal at pick 4. I love Garrett Wilson to death, my wide receiver 1 by a good margin, and that doesn't mean jack to me, honestly. It doesn't mean jack to me compared to a super high-end offensive tackle. But the Giants going Ike Ekwonu, don't know why on earth they go over Evan Neal, but I do understand that there's a ton of hype with Ike Ekwonu. And if you really think that that power is going to manifest into a supreme prospect better than Evan Neal, I totally understand and I'll support it. Again, you're taking a shot on an offensive tackle. I'm not going to shit on you. I just like Evan Neal quite a bit more. Panthers going, so I don't have the guts to do this. Well, I don't know if the guts would be the right word. I don't have the lack of brain cells to put Kenny Pickett at 6. That's why I've been dying to put a trade up at number 6 overall. And at this point, I might just have to say I'm sorry to Carolina Panthers fans. I really am. Just not a big fan of Kenny Pickett at all. He is my number 4 quarterback in this draft class, and that very well might change because I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with Desmond Ridder. Number 7, the Giants go Kyle Hamilton. I definitely think in Wink Martindale's scheme, you would probably much rather have to go after Sauce Gardner, but I still support Kyle Hamilton. I would, again, you look at next round, you could still get somebody. I mean, you could still get Jaquan Brisker at the top of the next round to be able to play a role similar to what Hamilton could play. So for me, I don't really understand that because, again, James Bradbury, they are going to need about $12 million to be able to sign their rookie free agents. And right now they're at $1 million under. So getting rid of James Bradbury's $15 million contract would be amazing. And I do know that Todd mentions Sauce Gardner here. Again, I do like Kyle Hamilton, but just not when Sauce is on the board. Again, Wink Martindale's scheme, lots of pressure. You put most of your weight on your cornerbacks in man-to-man coverage. That is Sauce's bread and butter. So I like that as well. Falcons, Drake London, I could see it. I could definitely see it. They're trying to get bigger, more physical at that wide receiver position, and they're trying to build for the future. You don't have to be ready now. But Evan Neal is still on the board. So honestly, if I were them, I would just say bye Caleb McGarry. But Seahawks get a steal in Evan Neal. I would cry because, again, he's my number 2 player in the draft class. I could be very similar to what we saw in Penei Sewell, who was my number 1 player in the class. So there are dudes who just fall because they're not exactly a surefire prospect. Of course, none of these players are. Sauce Gardner to number 10, though. I would damn near get another bottle of Dom Perignon and pop the champagne on live stream for that one too. I love Sauce. If you get to have him in New York, you'd literally be getting Darrelle Revis 2.0. Commanders going Chris Olave. It definitely seems pretty scheme based, right? Not scheme based. Seems to fit schematically with bringing Chris Olave back with Terry McLaurin back to those Ohio State days where Chris Olave, I believe, was playing the slot while Terry was on the boundary. This is pretty intriguing here. Terry McLaurin is being rumored as a trade target, so that might even make more sense for Chris Olave. I would hope to God that Washington does not get rid of their best asset on their entire team. That's a hot take, but we'll talk about that another time. Vikings going Derek Stingley Jr. would be an absolute A+ move. Charles Cross to the Texans. Okay, well, there you go. I guess awesome. I think that Charles Cross is going to be gone by pick 8, but still phenomenal move. I think the Texans, I don't know if he has trades in this one, should have moved up there. Baltimore Ravens going Jermaine Johnson. I do that myself. I love it. Trent McDuffie to the Eagles. It makes sense. I don't know if they're actually going to be going a corner in the first round though, but if they do, Trent McDuffie seems to be the most schematic fit. I would not want him at 15 with Jordan Davis on the board. I'll just say that. Saints going Trevor Penning. Again, they moved in front of, he does have trades here, so that's intriguing. They moved in front of the Chargers to get someone who can't start day one. Interesting. But the hell? Okay. That is very intriguing. So the Chargers are moving back with a team in their own division. That is very, very weird. Chargers got 29, 62, 94. Okay. That's really weird. They're letting the Chiefs. What the hell is going on here? I don't know, guys. You guys can comment on this. Why the hell would the Chiefs be, or why would the Chargers be like, yeah, you can move up and get your next Tyreek Hill. Yeah, we'll play you twice a year. Yeah, you're in our same division. Screw it. That makes no sense. Why? Why not trade back with hell, even Green Bay? Be like, Green Bay, you want them? Sure, take them. I don't get that at all. Eagles passing on another chance to get Jordan Davis, get Devin Lloyd. Not a big fan of that one, even though Devin Lloyd's a very solid linebacker. Saints then getting Jordan Davis. So you gave up your future draft capital to get someone who could barely start at left tackle and then a freak at defensive tackle. And I love Jordan Davis, don't get me wrong, but it makes no sense to me. At that point, you might as well go Malik Willis to the Steelers, which I would love. But Patriots going to Kobe Dean. I could see it happening, but I would say watch out for Zion Johnson there. I do know that could be a very, very, very possible fit, and it's good value as well. The Packers going Jahan Dotson. I would love that for them. I think that Chris Olave is already off the board as well. So, I mean, again, I do love Jahan Dotson. He's my wide receiver 3. I'm just trying to try to blend some realism in there. Cardinals getting Treylon Burks is very intriguing. I guess that's your AJ Green replacement. I mean, you're taking a shot on a super high upside wide receiver. There are still some really good corners on the board, and I think that need and value is pretty damn solid. And George Karlaftis is here, so yeah, I don't really get that too much. Karlaftis is next. I love it. I do, because Karlaftis is my number 7 dude in the draft. So there you go. You know who was also my number 7 dude in the draft last year? Micah Parsons. So you never know. I think George Karlaftis is going to surprise a lot of people. Booth to the Bills is a perfect fit. I love that. Watson to the Titans. So they're getting another Julio Jones style wide receiver here. Just this big lanky dude who could just push it deep. Not like saying he's Julio Jones, but like the type of role that you'd want from Julio as the Titans. I think that he has a lot to work on, and I definitely would not support this pick at all. You got Kenyon Green on the board. That left guard spot is vacant, and this guard class it's all right. But if you really want to be competing, you need to make a win now move. Christian Watson isn't the win now move you're looking for. So To me, I would definitely not be going that route. Again, you can get Alec Pierce in the next round, maybe. I mean, there's big, fast dudes in this draft. If you really want that, you can go and get it down the board. Buccaneers, Devontae Wyatt, still a fan of that one. Zion Johnson. Oh, by the way, Zion Johnson, I believe, is still on the board. So another guy the Titans could nab up. Yeah, so I'm thinking that the interior offensive linemen are slipping, and it's a little bit weird because, Devontae Wyatt, I know the defensive tackle class is pretty poor, but I have my feelings about Devontae Wyatt. I do think that he's worth the 27 pick for sure. But at the same time, it's like, he's just so much worse than Christian Barmore. And obviously Christian Barmore fell for personality reasons, but just like, man, it gets to me sometimes. Kenyon Green to the Packers makes a lot of sense. Moving Elton Jenkins to tackle and Kenyon Green to guard, I would be a big supporter of that draft. Chargers now have moved back and got Zion Johnson. I guess you're going to put Filer at tackle. And honestly, if you can't get one of those top 3 tackles, I'm not going to complain. I'm not. Boye Mafe is next to the Chiefs. It does make sense, kind of like a spag, or not. I don't know if he's exactly spag, but you're taking a high upside edge rusher. I personally would rather go after David Ojabo, just because, again, you're getting a super high upside player, and he's just honestly better than Boye Mafe. And I was Boye Mafe's biggest fan. You could look back at some of the first mocks I did. I was talking about Boye Mafe. And again, I'm totally for him. It's just David Ojabo, we saw that he could be a top 10 pick, and he tore his Achilles, which we saw Cam Akers come back from in 6 months. Like, it's a little bit weird. I know that ankle flexion is actually pretty key for an edge rusher. So if he falls because of that, I understand that, but I just don't know about Boye Mafe at that point. Tyler Linderbaum is next. Again, if you guys are not aware, I made a promise if Tyler Linderbaum goes to the Bengals, it's my number 6 player in the draft, then I would be buying Dom Perignon, drinking it live on live stream. Hopefully I could bring in like Caesar Williams into that. That would be quite fun. Bring him, maybe Luke Anthony, quarterback for Louisiana Tech, bring him in for a nice part of that live stream to make sure that I don't end up dying. But Detroit Lions then go Desmond Ridder. Not a big fan of this one at all. Again, if you're going to be wanting to redshirt a quarterback a year, you might as well take the one with the most upside. To me, that's Sam Howell, because he needs some more time to develop in an offense that is more NFL scheme, and Jared Goff is not too shabby of a mentor for that. Number 33, the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Kyler Gordon does not make sense. They're much more of a man-to-man, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty damn sure that's, when you get Tyson Campbell, it seems to make sense that that is going to be your bread and butter. And you still have Kyrie Elam on the board. So don't really get that, as well as, you still need linebacker help. So you get Leo Chanel there as well. Dax Hill to the Detroit Lions. I do like him quite a bit. I need to do my official eval on him, but Detroit Lions do need a safety. I would just prefer to go after more of a strong safety, though. I don't really think Dax fills much with Tracy Walker being there, but again, it might be BPA at this point. New York Jets going Arnold Ebiketie. They didn't, did they go edge in round 1? They went Garrett Wilson and Sauce, so I get that. So I think that would be a good move. I love Arnold Ebiketie. So I think like number 27, 25 player on the board. Definitely a day 1 impact for sure. So I like him quite a bit. New York Giants going Sky Moore. Intriguing for sure. It is BPA, so I'm not going to shit on it too much. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Like, Sky Moore definitely is worth that pick. Houston Texans going Jalen Pitre. I'm fine with it. They definitely need safety, and it does feel a lot like a Justin Reed type of move. Jets going Quay Walker here. I can see it happening. I just think other linebackers are better, like Leo Chanel. Bears going Tyler Smith. I would love him at guard. I would. And then you can kick him to tackle. Of course, I feel like I'm talking about the way I did with Tevin Jenkins last year. It does feel a lot like that. But yeah, you could have pretty much Jenkins, Smith, then you could have Borum at right tackle. And those are pretty much 3 dudes who are super young and impactful at their position. Seahawks going Matt Corral. Again, I love my boy Matt. I would rather go Sam Howell, but I do understand there's some hype on Matt. Very, very, very tight throwing motion. So definitely has that NFL quality and NFL speed on that release. So he's not going to get picked off because of his release. And then you got Logan Hall. I can see it happening. I do think linebacker, again, you got Leo Chanel on the board. Might as well take him because you lost Bobby Wagner. It's a big loss. Indianapolis Colts getting George Pickens. I fully support that. Lewis Cine to the Falcons. I fully support that as well. Lewis Cine is 6'2", 200 pounds, coming on 4.37, and can lay the freaking wood out on some people. I don't know if that's the right way to use that phrase. The Cleveland Browns go Travis Jones. I love that as well. I do that myself. Ravens going for Darian Mathis. It's extremely rich since you have Michael Pierce on the roster for 3 years. I'm not a fan of that at all. As a matter of fact, Kyer Elam, if I'm not mistaken, is still on the board, guys. I don't really know why there's a hatred towards him. He had a little bit of a bad year. We're saying that Derek Stingley is going to be coming back and having the best year of his life. And they're like, oh, well, maybe he didn't have the drive because of how LSU is playing. How do you think he felt when freaking Florida had no quarterback? Like, and, there's some reasoning that people don't apply everywhere because they just don't want to. I feel like people who don't like Kyer Elam but love Sauce Gardner might be in that realm. But again, this is not I'm not a fan of this pick, but honestly, for a Todd McShay mock, this is going pretty well. Perrion Winfrey to the Vikings, cannot see that happening. I can't. Unless you're getting a real game changer, there's no real need to invest in that spot. You still have Jaquan Brisker on the board. Who they go after in round 1, actually? I want to check that one because I totally bugged out trying to remember. They went after Derek Stingley. I don't even know why I need to check that. So Derek Stingley would be a great addition so long as you get somebody who's more impactful than Perrion Winfrey. Just not a big fan of that pick. Roger McCreary to the Commanders, not a fan of that pick either. Definitely not. You're getting depth at a position that honestly doesn't need depth when you have Mr. Alligator arms here. I would not want that as my depth corner. Then Atlanta trades up with the Chicago Bears to get Sam Howell. I'd be a big supporter of that if the draft fell this way. Saints getting John Mechie. I'm fine with that one as well. Chiefs going Breece Hall. I like that. I do. I know a lot of Chiefs fans won't. And, of course, the Eagles somehow get David Ojabo here at 51. Let's just not even talk about it because he should not be here. And this makes so much sense. I was thinking of the Steelers, like if Malik Willis does not go to the Steelers, Jaquan Brisker needs to be on the Steelers fans' radar for a first-round pick. He literally breathes Pittsburgh Steeler, and he's probably not going to be here at 52. So I think the Steelers could trade back. You could talk about, oh, I want to trade with the Packers. The Packers gave like 28 and I don't know what their next pick is, like 52. So they give up 28, 52, and they move up to 20. And then they could select their wide receiver or something. Then you could pick up Jaquan Brisker at 28 before the Lions could, before anybody else who needs a strong safety could. You could even talk about the Jets being a good contender right there. But Jaquan Brisker would be such a phenomenal move. I love him to death, and it does fill a need. We're trying to get Honey Badger, and from my reports that I've been hearing, he is asking for way too much money. This is going to be a lot better in terms of the value. Green Bay Packers going Trey McBride. It's an A+ move. Kyer Elam to the Patriots. That should have been the first-round pick, but you know what? I love it. Nick Bonito to the Cardinals makes so much sense as well. Good scheme fit. Bernard Ryman to the Cowboys. Happy to see that he's falling, but that's an A+ move as well. At least you're just going to try him out right tackle. Can't get much worse at the moment. Kenneth Walker to the Bills. Don't think it actually offers that much of like a new juice to the team, but at least you're trying. I'll give you that. Good for you. Bears getting Jalen Tolbert. Intriguing. I'd rather go Alec Pierce, but I do like Jalen Tolbert quite a bit as a good deep threat as well. Drake Jackson to the Green Bay Packers. I believe there might be some edges on the board that I might favor over Drake, but at the same time, it's 59. You're taking a shot on a high upside edge rusher. Then you got Tampa Bay Buccaneers going Greg Dulcich. Way too high for Greg. Definitely did not test out like he should be a number 60 overall. And Gronk will be back. I just have a feeling Gronk's going to be back. There's no real need for that. But, if I'm here, I'm sitting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You still have guys like Alec Pierce on the board as well. But there are also some pretty damn good guards like Sean Ryan on the board that you could be sticking in at that slot where Ali Marpet or Alex Kappa was. I'm forgetting which side they played on. So wherever Shaq Mason is not, you could be putting in someone like Sean Ryan. Niners going Nick Cross, would be a big fan of that one. Huge fan of Nick Cross. Chargers going Abraham Lucas. The truth comes out. There you go. Big fan of that move for them. Zion Johnson and Abraham Lucas would be a nice upgrade in the offensive line. Leo Chanel, my linebacker 4, but probably will be always taken as my linebacker 1, will be going to the Bengals, and that would be an insane addition. Then Daniel Failele to the Broncos is the worst way to end off this draft because this guy cannot play football for probably 2-3 years, and this team's ready to win now. So if I'm going to be making a win now move, I'm going to be looking at corner. I'm going to be looking maybe another linebacker because there's quite a few of them on the board. So that's where I'd be looking. But that's going to be the mock. Honestly, again, for a Todd McShay mock, it is not as asinine as usual because, again, I love Todd to death. Again, I have a lot of respect for him. That's why I like to tear his mocks apart. He's had a lot worse. I'll put it that way. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much again. See you on the far side. Peace.